Running can be a gigantic help with managing anxiety. Hello friend, if you're new here, my name's Zach and I'm an anxiety management coach. Running has been a key tool for helping me manage anxiety. And I use it in a three-prong approach, and what's cool is there's a little science to back it up. So let's dive in. Number one, when you're in the throes of anxiety, running can help you channel that anxiousness. See, anxiety is simply a fight, flight, or freeze response to things going on in our life. And so chronic anxiety is like there's actual no threat, but we're in this anxious state. And when we have went down that path a long ways, it's really hard to just manage the anxiety while we sit still. But running allows us to channel that into a fight, flight response. So you could be fleeing from, well, nothing, but your body doesn't know that. And it helps you to calm down over time. In fact, when I'm really worked up, my wife will say, "Hey, Zach, go for a run." That's a signal to me that I didn't even notice I was getting worked up with my anxiety. And I've learned to just listen to her. So there's a pro tip, a little extra for you. Tell those in your life that, hey, when I'm really anxious, just tell me to go for a run. Hopefully they do it nicely. But really, it channels that energy into something instead of trying to just whirl back and manage it while you're just sitting still, which is impossible at a certain point. Number two, it helps us to better handle anxiety by growing the brain. See, there was a study done by a neuroscientist at the University of Arizona, and it showed an increase in brain development in the frontal cortex. And there's also another study at the University of Lithuania and Nottingham University, to name just a couple, that showed people after a run have a much better attention and an ability to switch better between tasks. All these studies show that it can grow our prefrontal cortex, which is our ability to handle that stress and pressure of life and to be able to switch from one task to the other. Both of these things help us in managing anxiety. Basically, what we're saying here is that your brain development can grow and you can handle the stresses of life a little better. See, running helps you manage anxiety by basically making it so you don't feel it as often. See, it takes a little more to make you anxious. So you could see this probably in your own life. There's stuff in your past that maybe you used to get really stirred up about and easily anxious about. And now if those things happen, you would just bounce with it and be fine. In fact, I remember when I was younger, having bad grades. That was something that used to really just stress me out, right? Now that I've lived a little more life and the frontal cortex has grown a little bit, if I was to take a class today and get a C on the test, I'd be okay. I'm sure the same thing is true in your life, that there's things that you used to get stirred up about that no longer bother you. Running helps you to increase this growth a little faster. Right? Number three, running can be a life-giving thing. See, some cool things happen when you run. And one of the things that happens is that you have this increase in endorphins in your brain. This is called the runner's high. And basically, this neuron connection makes you feel good. So this morning I went for a run. 38 degrees, cold, miserable, and I felt like a psychopath when I left my house. 5 minutes in, my hands were freezing. I was thinking, what are you doing? But I had a goal this year. I'm going to try to run 1,000 miles. And so as I'm running, I'm going along. It took about 12 minutes or so. All of a sudden, I wasn't cold. And it wasn't because hypothermia had set in. It was because all of a sudden the endorphins were going off in my brain and I was feeling good. And so I just kept going, just feeling good. And all of a sudden life looked a little better, even on this gray Oregon day. See, so running can have a three-prong approach. The first one is that when we're in the throes of anxiety, when we're super anxious, it can channel our energy in that way. Instead of just sitting in that anxiousness, we can diffuse it by running. Number two, we can grow our brain so that we can handle the stresses of life and we don't even get anxious about it. And number three, It can be a life-giving thing where we can feel good about the world around us through those superpower of endorphins. I hope that this helps you to see the value in running can not only be physically, but it can also be mental and help you manage anxiety. For you that hate running, it's okay, you don't need to run. You can ride a bike, go for a speed walk. I hope that those things help you to manage anxiety. All I can say is running has been a key tool for me. Have a great day as you manage that anxiety. It does not have to overpower you.